Hello and welcome back to Brentford Fan TV. I'm Ben.
And I'm Freddie, and this video is the Wolves preview. And so looking at Wolves, they're currently bottom of the league and they've only got 1 point.
Yeah.
Which is a poor start, isn't it?
Yeah. But depends really. Is that down to their ability, their form, or just the teams they've faced?
Yeah, I think they've undoubtedly had the most difficult start to the season. I'd say we've had the second most difficult start.
Yes.
But they've played like Liverpool, Newcastle, Chelsea, Arsenal, and their only point came against Forest, who are actually playing alright themselves this season. So I would say it's like the question is, are Wolves a genuine relegation side? I think you have to give Gary O'Neill another like 10 games to really decide that.
They're probably not.
Because they are, I think they're a good side. They just have had really difficult fixtures. And I think they've been playing alright in the games. They're just playing difficult sides.
But also they have sold a lot of key players over the past few seasons.
Yeah.
With especially this season, Neto going to Chelsea and Kilman going to West Ham. So it's like
it's not difficult. Yeah. It's difficult to recover from 2 starters leaving. I mean, obviously we suffer from that every week with our injuries, 9 injuries, which is 6 to starting 11 players. But yeah, it's definitely not easy when I think Kilman was such a good defender. Unfortunately, he's now at West Ham.
Yeah, who are not doing well themselves.
Yeah, but I guess it's better than Wolves. But then also, as you said, losing Neto, it's a huge loss for Wolves. And I don't really know, due to like FFP, they've been able to properly replace these players. And so I think they are struggling. But I would say overall, I think they'll be fine. But
probably by the end of the season, yeah.
Yeah, but so they must have a good run, I presume, from now on. Like, because they've just played a bunch of difficult teams. And so you'd think they have a good run and they'll start to pick up points. Obviously, we don't want that to happen against us on the weekend.
But our last fixture against West Ham was quite uneventful. The only interesting bit was we scored in the first minute for a third game in a row.
And now we're looking to do it for a 4th week in a row against Wolves. I'm confident we can.
Yeah, but I prefer we score more goals.
Yeah.
Whether or not they're in the first minute or not.
Yeah. Well, I feel like if we get kickoff, if you're playing us and you don't want to concede in the first minute, first of all, win the coin toss and have kickoff. Then you shouldn't concede in the first minute. If we have kickoff though, I feel like just foul someone if you really don't, because teams who are playing us now know that we're going to have like players committed forward off kickoff, and so for them it's really just make a foul or just clear the ball early, and then you should be fine and you'll get past the early phase of pressure. But you know what? This reminds me of when we played Wolves last season, and when we lost 4-1 at home. That was probably one of our worst games since being a Premier League side.
Yeah, wasn't good.
But I thought we conceded like 1 or 2 goals straight from kickoff that game, from our own kickoffs. And in our quick kickoffs, we always commit players forward, and they just counterattack within like a minute or 2.
Yeah, so I hope that doesn't happen and they score within the first minute this time. But yeah, overall, I'd much rather us score more because we got that record, but in all 3 of those games we only scored the 1 goal.
Yeah,
which I see as an issue.
Yeah, I feel like it's about the timing of the goals almost. Like, do you want to score a goal later into the half so the other team has less time to like get an equaliser? Because I think it's definitely fair to say with Brentford, after we score, there's always a drop off in performance after in like most games we play, and so I feel like if we're scoring off kickoff, if that drop off is going to last for an entire half, kind of like it did against West Ham. I don't know. It's like, do we want to be scoring in the first minute? But last season, as we kind of touched on already, we didn't do well against Wolves. We lost twice, drew once, and won once in the league.
Yeah, we played them a total of 4 times, including cup ties, that is.
Yeah, I think obviously we had terrible injuries last season, as we do this season. That's probably why we lost so many games, but hopefully we can really turn around our form against Wolves from last season.
Yeah.
Collins remembers that he's a Brentford player because
Yeah, last season I literally thought he was an agent working for Wolves, and it's
Yeah.
like
We
he
remember,
made 2 mistakes, but
Wolves at home last
I've
season.
forgiven him since.
Yeah.
And he's actually done really solid for us. He's
One of our best players
yeah,
so far this season. But yeah, I remember actually in the cup game at home against Wolves, it wasn't long after we had just lost 4-1 at home to Wolves,
yeah,
and I went into like sort of like a small open pub slash burger area near the stadium, and I saw on the wall someone had stuck up a picture of Collins in a Wolves kit, and it said Agent Collins, and I was like, okay, fair play, Wolves fans. I tore down the sticker and just put it in the bin, but yeah, he did have a not so good game against Wolves beforehand.
but yeah, now we'll move on to predicted 11, which
Yes.
indeed does start Collins.
Yeah. Well, of course we've
I've
got
skipped,
Flecken.
I've skipped
Yeah,
over Flecken.
Flecken in goal, no questions. And then we've gone for the exact same back four as last week with Vandenberg, Collins, Pinnock, and Ayer at left back. I feel like it's not ideal still playing 4 centre backs, including a right-footed centre back at left back. Obviously, Ayer, he's a very good fullback when it does come to playing at fullback, but we really do. I feel like we could benefit from a left-footed player on the left-hand side.
So that is where do we play our fullbacks that are available? That includes Mads Rosalev, who would probably play on the right if he were to, still leaving right-footed Ayer on the left.
Yeah, I feel like we could play Mads against Wolves because he hasn't played in the last few weeks, but I do think he's all right and good enough, especially against a team like Wolves, and he's really good on the overlap. So I do think there's a possibility we play Mads, but I think Thomas Frank trusts those 4 centre backs, especially the 2 we're playing at fullback, a bit more than Mads in terms of general play.
Yeah, but I do feel, as you mentioned, the overlap. Him and Mbeumo's link up down that side is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And like we haven't seen that when we've had the 4 centre backs.
Yeah.
I
thought actually against West Ham in like the last 30 minutes where we were pushing for a win, and Mbeumo, Yarmulke, and Damsgaard sort of all found their way on the right hand side at some point, and they linked up well with overlaps. But yeah, I think if we could get like Vandenberg to do that more on the right hand side, we'd really benefit. But if we had Mads playing, he's done it a million times before for us, and we could really benefit from that.
Would you say it's too soon to bring Magoma in?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Because he's come off the bench recently in games.
I don't remember, to be honest.
But like, it would be good to have a natural left back at left back for once.
Yeah, I think I saw something the other day about him maybe being injured.
Oh,
so I don't even know if he's fit, to be honest.
Yeah,
but
it does seem like Thomas Frank and the Brentford staff do leave it late when they talk about injuries.
Yeah.
They do leave it until like the starting lineup's revealed.
Yeah, but I do think he played well against Leyton Orient. And I was quite impressed. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think we would really benefit from having him, because if we played him, he'd play a bit more advanced, and I know it might become a bit more of a back three with, like, say, Ayer, Collins, and Pinnock. But yeah, I really don't know. I think he's just a bit inexperienced. He hardly even played for Southampton in the Championship, so is he really ready for us in the Premier League? But then moving on to our midfield, Carvalho, Damsgaard, and Janelt.
We've gone with the same midfield 3, which I think is solid. They played really well. Damsgaard and Carvalho play really well going forwards.
Yeah.
They bring the attacking players into the game.
I thought Damsgaard played very similar to how Jensen does actually last week. As it was, I feel like, say it's Norgard, Janelt, and Damsgaard. Damsgaard's more attacking, but I thought he played more as the 8, sort of doing defensive and attacking work more than he usually does the defensive work. Although I think he's always done it. But yeah, I was impressed with him, and I was impressed with Carvalho. Last week we didn't expect Carvalho to play in the midfield.
Yeah.
But I think we didn't consider it because we didn't think Norgard would still be injured.
Yeah.
But of course, if Norgard isn't injured this week, he'll be straight back in the starting 11 over, say, Carvalho or Damsgaard or Jan out in the midfield.
Who would you rather start if Norgaard's available?
I reckon if Norgaard's available, drop Jan out.
Yeah, I reckon a straight swap
Yeah.
would be good.
Because I think Jan out's really good, but I feel like Brentford fans over the last year have questioned if he's good enough to like be at a level that we want to be.
Yeah.
But I'd just say drop Jan out, to be honest, just because he needs a rest. He's played so many games for us.
He's really consistent as well. But then with that consistency comes like a lot of players like Damsgaard and Carvalho have great moments.
Yeah.
Whereas Janelt's just pure consistency.
Yeah. I guess that's what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then Norgaard does the same, to be honest. But we don't even know if Norgaard's fit. He was supposed to be back for last week. He wasn't. So we genuinely just don't have a clue. But then the front three, we've gone Mbermo, Sharda, and Kino Spotter. So the entire predicted lineup we've put is the same as last week.
But like, there isn't really much that could be changed.
Yeah, our hands are kind of tied. Like the only players on the bench with any like first team experience is Mads, Ben Mee, and Yarmulke.
Yeah.
But
the rest are all injured.
Yeah, I was quite happy with the front three last week. Mbermo and Sharda sort of swapped between centre forward and right wing. But
I feel like that works because I would rather Sharda's pace on the wing.
Yeah.
But like Mbermo, his natural position is a winger, so he plays really well there anyway.
Yeah.
So it's getting that balance right.
Yeah. But yeah, I think overall it should be a win against Wolves, and I reckon we do it convincingly. So on to our predictions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna predict a 2-0 win over Wolves.
Nice.
Our first clean sheet of the season. I think it's about time. What about you?
Well, I haven't really thought too much about this. But I definitely think we'll win. It's whether or not we concede or not, which is my question. And I feel like to go differently from yours, I'll go 2-1.
Yeah. I think it's completely fair to predict we're going to concede a goal, because I think we have been a bit leaky at the back so far this season, especially when we're trying to overplay out from the back. I think Wolves have done it a couple of times this season, so hopefully, actually, I didn't mention this, but we could set up with the high press, catch them out.
We do really well with the press,
but they can also do the same to us and catch us out. So, yeah, this has been the Wolves preview. Hopefully, we can get the win. Thank you for watching, and see you in the post-match reaction.